What are some ways in which you can help people kind of break those bad habits of not moving?
I have one client that I'm trying to get him to walk. He's 84. He does a little bit of walking on the golf course, but there's a cart or
Hmm.
his cart is available. So what I did was leaned into walking the dog so
Hmm.
many times the day during the day and
Hmm.
during the week. So we committed to that. But when someone else, maybe his wife takes
Hmm.
the dog out, then he will do a certain amount of time just walking through the house. So we
Got it.
with that. So it doesn't have to be on a treadmill outside necessarily. It just has to be moving.
Hmm.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And I am here with Kelly Fennelly, and she is a fitness and wellness coach here in the greater Seattle area. And we're talking about wellness, fitness, health. And I am going to start out this segment with a quote that I just recently heard, and I really want to, have you sit back because it's someone that we all know and love, Mr. Dick Van Dyke, who is now, believe it or not, 99 years old, and is pretty amazing. But this is what he said at his 99, this 2025 interview. He said, at 30. I used to exercise to look good. At the age of 50, I would exercise to be fit. At 70, not to be padded to a bed. And at 80, not to be able to live without assistance. And now at 99, I do it purely out of defiance. And I love that quote because he has made it. I think he still goes to the gym 3 times a week. This man is amazing. Is his in longevity. And wasn't he like last year on Dancing or
Yes,
Masked Singer or something like that? He's amazing.
yes, mhm, yes.
So obviously fitness is a big thing. Movement is a big thing. When we're over 65, I know people say, "Oh, well, it's too I never did exercise, so it's too late." It's never too late. And that's one of the things I would love to talk to you about, Kelly, is how do you work with seniors and women?
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
primarily mostly, but you also work with men and
Yeah,
people that are in aging. How do you get people to get excited about movement?
I it usually ties to their activity, their family. Um, Maybe it's a mobility thing of getting in and out of the boat or the car or something that they enjoy doing, getting up
Hmm.
and down off the floor because with the grandkids. Yeah, it really ties to
Hmm.
their lifestyle where
Hmm.
they connect with and where they want to be able to keep active.
Hmm. Hmm. And doing that, just to get that mind shift going. I guess we understand why they need to move, but sometimes I think we get set in habits, especially when we're over the age of 65. What are some ways in which you can help people kind of break those bad habits of not moving?
Um, that's a great question. I um I have one particular, I'll just give you an example. I
Hmm.
have one client that I'm trying to get him to walk. He's 84.
Hmm.
And our first step was he does a little bit of walking on the golf course, but there's a cart or
Hmm.
his cart is available. So what I did was leaned into walking the dog so
Hmm.
many times the day during the day and
Hmm.
during the week. So we committed to that. But when someone else, maybe his wife takes
Hmm.
the dog out, then he will do a certain amount of time just walking through the house. So we
Got it.
with that. So it doesn't have to be on a treadmill outside necessarily. It just has to be moving.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
and we could stand and march in place.
Hmm.
But again, this was, it has to be specific to what I know he's going to do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that to the again, going back to the watch, how many steps did you take in a day?
Yeah.
What were your movement goals? Did you accomplish it? And then it's like, what I love about what my watch does is when I've hit my movement goal for the day, it'll go, yay, there's a big, celebratory thing. And those are the things that I think giving ourselves permission to celebrate when we do things and, and make, changes, because it's hard to start a new habit. It's hard to move forward. But I think one of the things that is really important is finding ways. It doesn't have to be with food. It doesn't have to be but finding ways to celebrate yourself. So for example, if you hit your movement goal for all week long, buy yourself a bouquet of flowers if you're a woman, or have, better yet, just say, ask your spouse to support you. It's like, go to your spouse and say, honey, I'm going to really work hard. And if I hit my goal, would you do XYZ for me? Or would you think of ways that you could, celebrate? And, sometimes men, they don't pick up on clues. So ask them what you need, I think is what that is.
Yes. And I think we've discussed this before, but that's one of the questions that I do certainly ask. It's very important to know who's in your support system when you are starting an exercise program, because yes, especially a spouse, like letting them know what your goals are. So yes. Great.
Yeah. And I have a rose garden, so I get very excited to go out there and but I was having a hard time with arthritis with pruning shears, and it would kill my hands. And for my birthday, I've mentioned this on air, my husband bought me these electronic pruning shears, right? And it's like, it's changed my life, because I can go out there now and I can prune roses and I can prune and get out in the garden, and I don't feel like my joints are on fire. It's not a bad, it's not a bad imprint on me. And I think that's one of the things that's so to help people, when you're helping people with movement and exercise, what are the first things that, you think about with someone that's new?
I definitely want to know, yes, what injuries or anything that is any limitations that someone might have, and then building around that. Some things we can overcome, some things are there to stay, but we can still get strong regardless. But that's the big one. So because everything is modifiable, so that's the big one.
And everybody's different, right?
Yes.
And I know that for me, it was just, maybe it's to walk to the end of the block and back. And that's better than what you did yesterday. So don't feel bad if that's all you can do. I've gotten to the point where now I can take my dog down, several, a couple, 3 houses and come back, and because of her, but I still have energy left, which is great. And I'm learning much more so to just lean into just pushing myself a little bit more every day, and realizing that it's not perfect yet, but we're getting there. And I think that's one of the things as we're getting older, that we find these little ways in which we can, reward ourselves. So Kelly, again, how do we reach you, and what can someone expect if they reach out to you? What kind of programs do you offer?
You can reach me on my website. It's my name, kellyfennelly.com. And what they can expect is a warm conversation. And again, meeting them where they're at and designing a program around what's available to them and their time.
Yeah. And certainly you offer Zoom coaching. And you offer in person here in Greater Puget Sound. So that's something obviously for everyone. So for those of you that are listening across the USA, Kelly is available for you to do some things. And I think you do some group programs, do you not?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Well, that's fabulous. And we're going to come back next segment. We're going to talk about the top 3 things you could do right now to improve your health right after this. Thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.